welcome everyone to this special evening seminar. Our guest today is Tom McFadden, who is a 2011 Fulbright graduate fellow studying popularizing science in New Zealand, originally from America, California. While teaching human biology at Stanford University, Tom began to combine his passion for science and music to make educational rap videos. He has since taught and made songs while in California, the Galapagos Islands, and Mexico. Tom has just finished touring New Zealand schools to promote Science Idol 2012, a science song and music video competition. We're all glad you could join us to hear about Tom's unique approach to teaching and enthusing young people about science, his YouTube fame, and the quest to get data on the efficacy of science rapping in schools. On a very personal note, it has been my great pleasure to get to know Tom during the past 2 days. He's very inspiring and a very nice guy. I hope you enjoy his lecture tonight called Beats, Rhymes, and Life Science, Music in the Science Classroom. It's a great pleasure to have you here, Tom.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Thank you, guys. I like to start off just as a little bit of an attention getter with a song. So I gotta make sure the sound is working here. This is a song that I opened up all of my performances as I toured around New Zealand. So this is kind of my opening number here.
Can we get more science? Science.
Check, check.
Can we get more science?
Fantasize about this back in the States, man. Science rapping at school sounds like a great plan. I love it all, from Jay-Z to brain scans. Going out of class to let me see those raised hands. My name is Tom McFadden and I'm a lover. Science, hip-hop, and putting it all together. I guess I just listen to my mother. The best thing in life is to be an educator and teacher. Born in Sac, California, started teaching bio over at Stanford, and a student told me biology is boring. I looked him dead in the eye, and this is what I told him. Hot tip, take class, cause science is amazing. Stop, back it up, now let me see your brain. Hey, hot tip, take class, cause science is amazing. Stop, back it up, now let me see your brain. Hey, biology, now let me see your brain think. In chemistry, now let me see your brain think. In physics class, now let me see your brain think. In science class, now let me see your brain think.
Right, deal is. But anyway, today I want to tell you a little bit about how I went from this 12-year-old little boy to, this is from New Zealand. This was like the front page of the Dunedin Otago Daily Times. So basically there's this weird path, this weird journey that I have been on, where I just went from a dorky little kid to a dorky big kid who likes to rap about biology. And it started when I was that age as a young kid, watching a show called Bill Nye the Science Guy. And so I see one little recognition there. So this is like an after-school show that a lot of kids watch, and after every episode, there would be a song about the scientific topic. And so this is an example of what...
They can change with aging, their bodies sit down. And if you are seeing your best,
Just look ahead now. Go to the optometrist. Just go ahead now.
Does that sound familiar to anybody? No? A little bit? You recognize that song? Okay, I'm going to restart this presentation to see if that fixes the video issue that we're having here. So anyway, that was really inspiring to me as a little kid who was kind of interested in a lot of different things, to see music about science, to see the way that music could get people excited, the way that it could kind of just be fun and be entertaining. And so I watched that show, and eventually I started making my own songs. I started taking the words to famous songs and writing my own lyrics. And by the time I was in high school, let's see how this works. By the time I was in high school, I was listening to different types of music. There was a lot more hip-hop in my life. Eminem, anybody heard of Eminem? Yeah, a couple people. And yeah, so the next video is a video where he went, it was actually the first kind of big song that I really enjoyed. And I wound up, when I began teaching biology, making a song about meiosis. You guys remember meiosis from high school chemistry at all? No? Meiosis, it's the process by which cells divide and they separate their DNA into two different cells, meiosis. So I flipped a song that was called Hi, My Name Is into a song called Hi, Meiosis. And my computer is being particularly uncooperative right now, so I'll keep explaining background. Basically, I became a biology teacher at Stanford University, and I loved biology, I loved music, and I was inspired by these videos to combine the two. And I noticed that I got a lot of positive feedback from my students. The students really enjoyed seeing their teacher kind of bring a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of interest outside of science, right? Because it was a hard class. We had to cover a lot of material about cells, about this, about DNA, about evolution. So the fact that we could incorporate things outside of those really made a big difference for them. And let's see how we're doing here now.
My name is excuse me. My name is can I have the attention of the class for 1 second? My name is
This is my song now.
Do you like rhyming? Stick 9-inch nails to each one of my eyelids?
Eyelids? Do you like eyelids? Or across two, the flower with 3/4 have eyelids? And the other quarter might have more of white tinge? Try to keep the new hypothesis with a content.
So that last scene was me and a high school teacher. This is one of my best friends from high school and university. We decided to make songs for his students. So this was kind of a transition from only making songs for university level students who study biology to trying to get high school students who are less automatically interested, right? If when you're in university, you have to be there, you want to do well, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of these high school kids in the States are not as engaged and not as interested in. So that was a really cool thing that I started to explore. Another really huge influence on me was this human biology degree. When I was at university, I studied human biology, and that was the same department that I taught in. And as you can see with this diagram, they were all about combining different things. It wasn't just natural science. We were bringing in education, medicine, ecology, government policy, behavioral sciences like psychology and anthropology. And the idea was that the problems that are facing society, the problems that are facing the world, cannot be solved by any one discipline. You need people who are able to understand many, many different disciplines and bring them together. And they were training undergraduates to be able to think in many, many different ways. And I really appreciated that. And that's something that has stuck with me to this day, where even though I love biology, I'm getting more and more interested in education and psychology and things like that. So, leaving Stanford, I kind of had the following passions. I loved just hip-hop in general, I loved biology, I was getting more interested in education, and that human biology training had made me really interested in social science research. Because we were doing both at once, and a lot of the more science snobs were a little bit like, the only way to understand the world is by doing experiments in a lab with, petri dishes and test tubes. But I think they were really missing out on a lot of really important ways to understand the world via social science, psychology, just literature, so many different things. So, and I was not yet a science rapper. Okay? This is a title that was given to me in this little news piece from when I first went to New Zealand and started performing for kids.
Fire others.
I'm a huge nerd.
But you soon realise not everyone thinks science is as cool as he does.
The interesting thing is that the young kids have this natural curiosity and love science when they're really, really young. Somewhere around intermediate school, high school, they start to think, oh, that's too hard, that's too boring, I don't like that. And to me, that's the most important age, to really capture their imagination and remind them, look, this can be really, really cool.
So it was born Rainbow Sun. Rap started off fairly basic, but pretty soon they got complicated.
They're not necessarily absorbing the lessons through the rap, but they are getting more excited about learning it themselves.
I learned that the sun was made out of energy. Molecules are really slow when they're ice. The sun puts its rays on the food, and then the plants somehow get the energy onto the food.
You see the looks on their faces, and my main goal is just to kind of, in their brains, connect science with adrenaline-fueled fun and excitement. And when I say clouds make it rain,
As part of the International Science Festival, Tom will run rap workshops in Dunedin next week. We're going to show us a bit of what he can do with some of Room 7's top scientists.
we can brainstorm right now a topic that you guys would want to write. I'm going to cut this off because we got started late and I was having troubles. But the main point of that was before I got to New Zealand, I had this question. Do these songs, or I had this theory really, I think these songs help to get kids excited and motivated, but they're not always necessarily, if you just sit there and listen to it, you don't learn a lot from it necessarily, just hear it once. Maybe if you're studying it, that could be really good, but it's really about the emotional engagement and as a way to hook somebody in. I came up with a list of kind of things that I wanted to explore. The first thing is, all of my songs previously had been for university students. I wanted to write some songs for a younger audience where the kids could get really excited. I wanted to make cooler videos with animations and interactivity so that it wasn't just a passive listening experience, but that you could actually get some interaction with these videos, and that instead of me dancing around in the video, it would be simple images that helped convey the material. I also wanted to get students making their own songs, and this is something that we have been doing together for the past 3 days, but I think that is a much more powerful experience when students are creating their own music. And I went back on the road for this tour, and the last key ingredient is wanting to get some data, do some proper social science education research as to whether this stuff works. Now, as you know, in social science, you have to define this stuff and work quite carefully. So that's been a task for me as I've been doing a master's in science communication. So, made a bunch of new songs. I suppose I can perform maybe one verse of one just to kind of remind you of what it's all about. Now there'll be English subtitles so you can follow along a little bit easier. The flowers that are pollinated, and dog or frog with collinate. Egg cells, sperm cells, use it up. Niggas, I go sex, confused with 1, 5 once, twice.
a couple more times. Young seeds get to a pretty big size, gotta grow on cells and go. Stop looking like a new individual. You're familiar, the guy got top come from the mama papa, half from each. Pretty darn near, cause of those genes in the mitochondria. Don't forget there's a different scheme to make offspring with identical genes. No zygotes, where DNA gets plural, just let it off, holiday sexual. Genes and traits, can't prove a pass down either way. Yeah, Gregor Mendel did it with peas. Now he studied genes with incredible ease. So anyway, that's just a little example where we were trying to talk about genes and traits, something very similar to what we've been studying here. But at a more basic, just how does this work? What is the relationship between genes and traits? I can also show you a brief clip of the Fossil Rock Anthem. This is my attempt at bringing in some more simple animations that really help to explain a video rather than just having me dance around.
Fossil Rock! Yeah!
Fossil rocks are in the ground tonight. They've been down there for a really long time. They contain the history of life. They've been down there for a really long time. Fossil rocks are in the ground tonight. They've been down there for a really long time. They are literally on the ground. Take your hammer out and
Kids all over New Zealand are doing this dance. I love it. Shovel it.
Look at the ground, pop they rock. Plus plants and animals stuck in the spot, huh? Each new blade stack it up, so the oldest on the bottom and the newest on top. See how old is your fossil roll? That was pretty far down, so it's pretty darn old. And I dig this one, so I got to know. It's 3.5 billion years ago. Yo, I got that lava flow, volcano, air full of particles and smoke. There goes life as they know. Now that's a blast. Most rocks ain't moving that fast. The sediment's evidence like a present telling us of the past.
So part of the goal there is, from an education standpoint, is kind of just to compete with all the other things that 11 and 12-year-olds in New Zealand or the States or here are interested in. On their terms. I chose a song that was very, very popular. I don't know if you've come across the Party Rock Anthem in Japan yet, but it was a very famous song that every single student in New Zealand and in the States knows. So this is kind of tapping into a part of their brain that is already really excited and really interested, and then linking it up with something else. Now, obviously, student-written songs is a big part of what I've been interested in lately, this fine class of academic hip-hop all-stars we've written a song together. We've completed the song, and I was hoping that maybe you guys could come up and we could just perform the chorus. We don't have to go through the whole verse at the moment because we still need a lot of practice before we record it tomorrow. But I don't know if you guys want to come up and we'll just do the beginning. Yeah! So this is a song that we're kind of working from an introductory psychology textbook that is exploring the nature of how genes and environment affect human personality, about human psychology. And so we kind of just worked with the textbook and went through all of the different content that we wanted to communicate. Then we brainstormed exactly a few keywords that we could rhyme, and then we've been slowly putting it together in song form. And this is just a chorus. We don't need a microphone. Cool, I'm gonna look over one of your shoulders, and we'll just do it. So just the chorus. We're brought up Awesome. You guys can sit back down. That was great. So that was just the chorus. It's a full 3-minute song that goes through lots and lots and lots of material, and it's been really, really fun to make. And so they're all going to practice really hard all of their lines tonight so that in the recording studio tomorrow, you can just nail it. That's been cool. Maybe I can just throw the lights back down for the next few slides. Thank you so much. Obviously, I've been on the road, kind of taking this stuff. One of the really things that I thought was cool was a series of instructional videos that I made as part of the Science Idol 2012 competition in New Zealand. And the goal was that it's nice if I don't have to always be there in the same room doing this workshop and can kind of just facilitate it via the internet. Me being in the room helps, but this kind of lays the groundwork for people to learn a little bit about how to write these type of songs. And then the last big topic for me is figuring out, does this stuff work? Is there a role for music and academic hip-hop in the teaching establishment? And if you really want to convince people of that, you need data to back it up. I have plenty of anecdotes that I could tell you, but my goal for my master's thesis is to get some good data. And so one additional layer of background is that in the United States, our science education is not considered very good at the public level. We have a lot of great scientists, we've got a lot of great science institutions, but for just an average kid in a public education in high school, it's not doing so well. We don't perform very well on international rankings and tests, so a lot of people recognize that something needs to be changed in science education. And there's a lot of private companies that are looking to change that, to try to basically create new ways for learning. A lot of it is through video games, a lot of it is through more interactive things, and this one in particular, Collab Lab, happens to be through music. So a lot of people have been getting in touch with me, including this organization. But they also need data. If you want something to be adopted in schools, you have to have data. So to me, that gave this a little extra significance than just my random stuff that I wanted to learn about. So I have, because I'm in the midst of this still, 2 primary research questions. One is about, the efficacy, does this stuff work? And so the question there is, what is the relative effectiveness of the fossil rock anthem, for example, at motivating students to learn and teaching them things about fossils? And those are 2 very different things, like I said before. I think they might play a bigger role in priming students to be excited about a topic or a subject. Rather, they're not going to replace the textbook necessarily. They're not going to replace the lesson or the interactive fossil activity that you have. It's really just an attention getter. But then the second one is what happens when you have students writing their own songs. I think it's probably I'm assuming that it will really help with their long-term memory, and they'll be able to learn things and remember them a lot better. But a lot of times it takes quite a bit of time, as we're finding in our song. It doesn't happen quickly. So there's advantages to having an outside video coming in. On the first question of does this type of music video help, this is my methodology, and I pretty much have 3 groups. In kind of typical education research fashion, the way that I'm going to measure the change in motivation and the change in learning is just by a pre-test and a post-test. So you give them a questionnaire, and then you give them the treatment, and then you give them a post-test. And the really 2 important ones, you can just focus on these top 2. So one group will get a music video, one will get all the exact same information, but just in a more traditional form, and then post-test. And to tell you the truth, I am not expecting big gains from this, this music video in either category, but I am hoping that over these few weeks afterwards, when certain students will get access to this music video, that they can watch it many, many times, that that might kind of spread amongst them, and they'll get an email, and I'll also be able to track the clicking rates on the links and offer them follow-up information about fossils, for example, and that will be a useful measure of whether they actually are motivated to learn more and they are actually excited. Because there's a big difference between measuring their behavior and just saying, are you excited about this? Are you waku waku? Is that the word? Been learning some Japanese in the past day. And then, of course, a delayed post-test with more of the same treatment to see whether that works. And then I also have been running this Science Idol competition where students around New Zealand wrote their own songs. And I want to learn a little bit about kind of how long that takes an average student. What did they learn? Did they pick up any new skills in the process? One of the things I think is advantageous about this, about students writing songs and making videos, is that you're not just learning the content, you're not just learning a new language or practicing your English, but you might have to learn some new digital technology, how to do audio recording or video editing or animations or drawing. So you can really incorporate a lot of different elements to the activity, and that's something I've definitely felt like we've been able to do here. So that's pretty much where I've got to. I have tons more songs and everything that I could do, but I had to go through them quite quick. But anyway, that's the story of how I went from being a little kid to where I am now. And I want to thank many, many people, particularly Kyoto University, for bringing me out here. I've had a really, really fun time thus far. And I've had such an incredible time working with all of you guys. And I'm really looking forward to going into the recording studio tomorrow. And I want to thank Fulbright New Zealand for bringing me to New Zealand, the embassy for sponsoring my recent tour, and a lot of other people. And thank you guys for all coming tonight. It was just really great. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have now.